Hello and welcome to Left Bench Baseball, where instead of playing baseball, we sit on the sidelines and discuss. In my previous video, I ranked the last 10 AL MVP seasons, so this time we'll be looking at the National League MVPs. When making this list, I found much more difficulty than I did with the American League, as the NL MVPs are separated by far less, creating a lot more room for disagreement. So if you disagree with any rankings on this list, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. My process for these rankings was the same as my American League video, but here's a brief refresher. The most important statistic for me was WAR, specifically Fangraphs WAR, as I feel it's the best way to compare players across different positions and eras. In comparing offense, I use stats that adjust for league scoring environment, as it's unfair to compare raw offensive numbers across a decade where league run scoring has varied so much. I mainly used WRC+, an all-encompassing offensive stat which adjusts for run environment and ballpark factors and sets 100 as league average. Now that I've covered my process, let's get started with the rankings. Kicking off our list, we have 2021 NL MVP Bryce Harper. Despite not being an all-star, Harper rode a hot second half to his second career MVP. In 141 games, he had a .309 average, .429 on base percentage, .615 slug, and a .170 WRC+. The Phillies' right fielder showed off his excellent combination of plate discipline and power, hitting 35 home runs and walking 16.7% of the time. What knocks Harper down on this list is his subpar defense in the outfield, as he had -7 outs above average and -6 defensive runs saved as a right fielder. He finished the season with 6.6 F4, the second lowest WAR total on this list. Coming in at number 9 is 2017 NL MVP Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton nearly had a historic final season in Miami as he flirted with 60 home runs, hitting a career-high 59 long balls. In 159 games, Stanton had a .281 average, .376 on base percentage, .631 slug, and a .158 WRC+, third lowest on this list. He finished the season with 6.4 F4, the lowest F4 total by an MVP since 2008 AL MVP Dustin Pedroia. What puts Stanton above Harper on this list is his defense. Stanton racked up 11 defensive runs saved in the outfield, and even his -1 outs above average was far greater than Harper's -7. While Harper surpassed Stanton in F4, Giancarlo had 7.9 baseball reference WAR, a 2-win advantage on Harper's 5.9. Sadly, the Marlins are the only NL team in the last decade to finish the season below 500, despite having the league MVP on their team, as they went 77-85 and traded Stanton to the Yankees in the offseason. At number 8, we have the oldest player on this list in Paul Goldschmidt. In 2022, after 3 different top 3 MVP finishes, Goldschmidt finally took home MVP honors for the first time at age 34. In 151 games, the Cardinals' first baseman hit .317 with a .404 on base percentage, .578 slug, and a .176 WRC+ to go along with 35 homers. His .176 WRC+ is the second highest on this list. While playing a less significant defensive position in first base, Goldie had 2 outs above average and -5 defensive runs saved. He finished the year with 6.9 F4 for the NL Central winning Cardinals. Following up the oldest MVP on this list, we have one of the youngest in Kris Bryant. After an excellent rookie season, which saw Bryant take home NL Rookie of the Year, the Cubs superstar got even better in his sophomore campaign, winning MVP at just 24 years old. In 155 games, Bryant hit .292 with a .385 on base percentage, .554 slug, and a .148 WRC+. Bryant also hit 39 home runs and brought positive value at a variety of positions. He was a plus defender at third base, first base, right field, and left field, playing over 50 innings at each position. In total, Bryant had 9 defensive runs saved and 8 outs above average. It was a magical second season for Bryant and the Cubs, who famously broke a 108-year World Series drought, defeating the now Cleveland Guardians in 7 games. Unfortunately, neither Bryant nor the Cubs have been able to rekindle that magic in the years since. In 6th on our list, we have Christian Yelich's 2018 campaign. After a strong 4 seasons in Miami, Yelich enjoyed a breakout into superstardom in his first season as a Brewer. In 147 games, the 26-year-old hit .326 with a .402 on base percentage, .598 slug, and a .167 WRC+. Yelich hit 36 home runs, surpassing his previous high watermark in homers by 15, all while stealing 22 bases. As a fielder, he was serviceable across all three outfield positions, with 1 defensive run saved and 3 outs above average. Yelich finished the season with 7.7 F4. Unfortunately for the Brewers, they were unable to ride Yelich's breakout to a World Series, as they lost in 7 games to the Dodgers in the NLCS. At number 5, we have the only pitcher on the list in Clayton Kershaw. In 2014, Kershaw had one of the most dominant pitching seasons in recent history. The starter tossed 198.1 innings over just 27 starts, averaging over 7 innings every time he took the mound. In those 198.1 innings, Kershaw had a 1.77 ERA, 1.81 FIP, and 10.85 Ks per 9. The southpaw also had superb control, allowing just 1.41 walks per 9. Kershaw's 1.81 FIP is the second lowest for a qualified pitcher in the 21st century, only behind Corbin Burns' 2021 season, where he pitched just 167 innings. Kershaw finished the season with 7.9 F4, and yet another season of dominance for the Dodger ace, who was in the midst of a 5-season stretch from 2011 to 2015, where he held a 2.12 ERA over 1,128 innings of work. Sliding into the 4th spot on our list, we have 2013 NL MVP Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen was the driving force for the Pirates in 2013, who won 94 games and made the playoffs for the first time since Barry Bonds left the team in 1992. While McCutchen had elite production, the way he achieved it differed from his peers on this list. In 157 games, the 26-year-old was excellent at the plate, hitting .317 with a .404 on base percentage and .508 slug, good for a 156 WRC+. However, while all other NL MVP position players in the last decade hit at least 35 home runs, McCutchen hit just 21. He provided plus speed, stealing 27 bases, which was second most on this list, while also playing above average defense in center field with 3 defensive runs saved. In total, he had 8.1 F4, the third highest on this list. Coming in at number 3, we have 2019 NL MVP Cody Bellinger. After breaking onto the scene in 2017, winning NL Rookie of the Year, Bellinger followed up a slight step back in his sophomore season with a massive third campaign. In 156 games, the left-handed slugger hit .305 with a .406 on base percentage, .629 slug, and a .161 WRC+. Bellinger also mashed 47 home runs and drove in 115 runners. The 23-year-old maintained a batting average above .400 late into May, one of the longest such stretches in recent memory. He did all of this while being an elite defender, winning a Gold Glove in right field, with 21 defensive runs saved and 8 outs above average across right and center. The future Cub rounded out the season with 7.9 F4. His elite play with the bat and glove placed him in the top 3 on this list. The runner-up on this list is last year's NL MVP Ronald Acuna Jr. Acuna made his second full season off a torn ACL historic, as he became the first player in MLB history to record a 40-70 season, with 41 home runs and 73 stolen bases. He was the first to reach 70 stolen bases since Jacoby Ellsbury in 2009. In 159 games, Acuna hit .337 with a .416 on base percentage, .596 slug, and a .170 WRC+. He also cut his strikeout rate from 23.6% in 2022 to just 11.4% in 2023. The only knock on Acuna's season was his poor defense in right field, as he had the lowest outs above average total on this list with -9, in addition to -3 defensive runs saved. Overall, the NL MVP had 9 F4 for a Braves team which won an MLB best 104 games, before being upset by their division rival Phillies in the NLDS for the second year in a row. At number 1, we have our only repeat player on this list in Bryce Harper, this time with his 2015 campaign. At just 22 years old, Harper had one of the best offensive seasons of the 21st century. In 153 games, he hit .330 with a .460 on base percentage, .649 slug, and a 197 WRC+. He clubbed 42 home runs and had the highest walk rate of anyone on this list at 19%. Harper's 197 WRC+ is the second highest mark reached without steroids in the 21st century, only behind Aaron Judge's 2022 campaign. Harper was also solid in the outfield, with 6 defensive runs saved across right and center field. His 9.3 F4 is the highest on this list, and one of many reasons why he takes the #1 spot. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to see more baseball content and rankings, please make sure to subscribe, as more videos just like this one are on the way. If you haven't seen my American League MVP rankings, that'll be linked to this video if you'd like to check it out.